There's so many people that are HBCU grads and or Divine Nine organization members that you don't even know. And it's like, you really, it's a lot of connections that can be made. And I feel like that's what I want to do. I want to bridge that gap.
And we're back. For those of you guys that are just tuning in, this is Free Speech with Moett, and of course, I am Moett. You can follow me everywhere on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, anything that's anything. That's IamMoett. That's IamMoett. And y'all already know, if you have a topic or anything you would like to discuss, you have a story that you want to come on here and talk about, business, any upcoming project, anything, definitely shoot me a text. Leave me a voicemail, 678-653-2024. That's 678-653-2024. And today, I have with me...
What's going on, man? DC in the building with Moett. What's going on, homie? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
All right. So let the people know who you are, what you do, where they can find you at, different things like that.
Okay, DC, as most people know me as, you know. I always say actor, model, host. When I say, well, model first, because I started out modeling. I've been modeling for 13 years now.
Oh, wow.
As far as acting, I still have a lot of work to do, so it took me a minute to even start putting that on my title. It was just something that I was trying to do. I always said aspiring actor, but then I booked a few things that was very, very credible to my resume, so now I go ahead and I say it. Hosting, I started hosting maybe maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Well, maybe 3 years ago. Okay. And I'm hosting the Historically Black Sense, which is geared towards HBCU graduates and or alums, as well as D9 organization members. So yeah, that's me, actor, model, host. On Instagram, at one and only DC. Spell out one, the letter N, only DC.
Awesome. That is awesome. That is amazing. Now, I know I see you on Instagram all the time. You be motivating me so much because you was always somewhere working. So how has it been like, I know you say you've been modeling 13 years. How was it whenever you first started out modeling? Like, how did that process go and what made you decide to do that?
It was very interesting. It's nothing that I ever wanted to do from the jump. It was more so of my mom's, this is a funny story, my mom's coworker, I call her Auntie Michelle. Now she saw my prom photo and she was like, man, he takes very good photos. Has he ever tried modeling before? And I'm like, man, you can try no modeling. Because coming from a small town, mostly it's, and by me being so tall, I was playing sports, so yeah. Me being a guy, I'm just like, nah, modeling is not the thing that I feel like is, having a closed mind. I had a closed mind, like, this ain't no manly thing. I'm a basketball player, yada, yada, whatever. But I gave it a shot, and I was a very shy kid growing up too. Let me add that. Let me throw that in there. So I gave it a shot. I did a photo shoot. A guy, he used to always come out with a calendar like each year, but it was geared towards women because he did hair and stuff like that. So he featured me as a male one year. Yeah. And I liked it. I did the fashion show, and I started liking the attention that I was getting. Yeah. So once again, that goes back to me being shy and not getting that attention to all of a sudden getting that attention. And I'm just like, you know what? I kind of like this. Once I went to Alabama State University in Montgomery, I got into a couple of shows down there. I got into a pretty big show in Montgomery called Style Experience with a guy named Perry Varner. He used to put that show on every year. And at that point, I feel like that's when it kind of got real. I started getting a lot of attention then because I was on the college campus. I started modeling. I was like the new kid on the block. I joined a modeling troupe to actually, to learn the ins and outs of it as far as different techniques and things of that nature. So it just kept going. It kept going with the modeling. So that's kind of how I started. Started from a prom picture. Started from me getting in a show, doing a photo shoot. And hey, now I'm here. I found out I can make some money from it. Let me put it that way. I found out I can make a little change from it. Right, when I made my first dollar off of modeling, I was like, oh man, I'm
you in there.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be doing this for a while. So yeah, I did it, and I just kept going with it.
That is amazing. That is awesome. Now I know I did see, like, you've been in a lot of magazines. I know one time you were on, I believe it was the cover of Essence that one time. How did you land that?
Okay, I didn't do the cover of Essence.
Oh, I've been telling everybody he was on the cover.
Well, that's fine too. I'll take it. I was on the cover page, so we'll take that. We'll take that. I was on the cover page of the website. Now, it was weird. I went to Essence Fest one year. Well, shout out to Essence Fest. Essence Fest is amazing, by the way. And I was doing brand ambassador work, right?
Yeah.
I forgot what I was doing it for. But I was doing brand ambassador work, and in the midst of me doing what I was supposed to be doing as far as just working, you know how BA gigs, everybody, a lot of people know how BA gigs work. Someone was passing out flyers, and I got a hold to this flyer that said, eye candy contest, Essence eye candy contest. I said, okay. So I went over to the people who I was working with. I'm like, hey, I'm finna go over here around this time because I'm finna hop in this contest.
Yeah.
So I hopped in it, and Free from 106 and Park was hosting it. Shout out to Free, she's super dope. And like right now, I can, we say I'm on DM every now and then or whatever. So Free is super cool, and seeing her on 106 and Park every day. So actually, being cool with it is like very, very dope.
Amazing.
So I hopped in this contest, and I ended up winning the contest. Well, it was kind of like a tie between me and another guy, but we both came in first, I guess. And it just so happened that the editor-in-chief at the time over Essence Magazine, she happened to be one of the sorors to my fraternity. And she was like, hey, come on, let me get your information. And she got the information. She told me what to send her. I sent her some of my stuff. I sent her my portfolio, my bio and everything. And she was like, yeah, we want to feature you as the eye candy for Essence. I was like, oh, dope. So at the time, I'm like, anything Essence Magazine,
right.
It's just like damn,
Essence.
But sometimes you don't really grasp exactly what it is at the moment. So I didn't really understand how big it was going to be, but once they actually posted the article and everything, it started circulating a lot. And I'm looking at the comments. It's people coming from Africa, people coming from France, coming in from everywhere. So at that point, I'm like, okay, so people are really seeing me internationally, because Essence is such a big brand within itself. So that's how it came about with the whole Essence thing. And yeah, I was the eye candy then. I did get in the magazine. I wasn't on the cover of the magazine, but I was on their cover page for the Essence eye candy, and I did get featured in that magazine, which was a magazine with Tyler Perry on the cover. So that was dope as well.
Oh wow,
yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's amazing. I've been telling people you was on the cover.
Hey, hey, I'm gonna take that. That's all right.
All right, so with that, I know you've also done like some background work, which I didn't know that you were background in BET's The Game, and I used to watch that show all the time, faithfully. So like, how did the journey go? Because now you've been getting major roles, right? You've been getting some major roles. So how has that journey gone from like starting out in the background, transitioning to the foreground?
It's been a journey. I'll say that. It's definitely been a journey. So The Game was the first thing that I ever did television-wise when I did background on The Game. And when I was doing it, it was something that I was doing the whole modeling thing, and I'm like, man, let me try something different. I want to try something different. Let me see how the whole acting thing is. And of course, you can't jump from doing nothing to getting roles. You got to learn. You got to start somewhere. So I started doing background work, and when I did it, it was a very, very good experience. And The Game was big. It was hot when it first came out. Yeah. So I'm seeing Pooch Hall, Wendy Raquel Robinson, and all of them. Like it was very dope. It was a great experience. I ended up doing it a few times. So after just doing background work and kind of learning how the set goes, first of all, how long the damn hours are to be on set. Facts.
That's something for real.
Yeah, absolutely. Seeing, just learning different aspects of it, seeing what it really, really took. And the whole time, it's like you can be on set to do background and to get a check, but at the same time, I'm studying the actors as well. I'm studying what they do. I'm studying how they deliver their lines differently and things like that. So I liked it. I started to get into some independent films. I started applying for independent films I'm like, all right, well, let me see what I can do with this. Yeah. Try to build a reel and resume. Honestly, a lot of it sucked now that I look back on it. But
hey, trial and error.
But it's trial and error, and you have to learn. You have to learn. I started doing that, and fast forward to 2 years ago, I said, well, I've built my resume and I've built my reel up, so let me try to get signed with an agency. So I became signed with an agency, and I actually booked some SAG roles, which was horror noir. That was on AMC, still on AMC. It's on Shudder right now. It came on AMC though. It came
Right,
on
right.
AMC.
I remember you were promoting that.
Yeah. That was real big because it was a film. It was a SAG project, and on top of that, Director X, he directed it, and everyone knows him from being a big music video director. But
Right.
and I love music videos. I've been in so many of them anyway.
Right.
But just seeing a lot of the music videos that he directed back in the day, like Director X, like it was like him and Vinny Boom, So I'm like, okay, dope. He directed it. That was a great experience. Then I did. Well, prior to that, I did Fatal Attraction, as well as For My Man on TV1. That was interesting. And I think the funny thing, well, it ain't funny, but the odd thing about that is you're really playing a character who's like currently incarcerated right now.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting. You think you're just playing a role, but
you gotta get in like
man,
the mindset, the lingo, how to,
yeah. It's just, you playing like you're portraying a real person who's still alive, who's currently incarcerated, who's probably gonna see this. And it's crazy because they're talking about their case. Like, you're showing their actual case.
Wow.
So, yeah, I did that. I did a few commercials. I ended up getting cast for a few commercials, which was very, very dope as well. I just kept it going, man.
That's amazing. That is dope. Now, I know I seen something on your page about a candle or something. You got candles?
I do. Seductive aromas. I had to put it in there, seductive aromas.
Right.
I'm gonna look at the camera, seductive aromas.
I'll make sure I zoom in.
Zoom in on that. I started that because I just wanted to try something. I was like, I just wanted to try some type of, I guess, entrepreneurship venture. And I'm just like, what do I like? I like incense. I like candles. I like things that smell good. So
Right.
I said, you know what? Let me try my hand in candles. And it did better than I thought it would do starting out.
That's good.
So, yeah. I gotta get you one too.
Yeah, you do. You know what I'm saying? You can hook me up.
I gotta get
so
you.
I can tell everybody, yo, go get these candles. Seductive aroma.
Get you one. Hey, now, I'm not responsible for what happens when you light it, right? Okay, let's get that clear.
Okay, all right. So outside of that, I know like you're really big on HBCUs. You went to a HBCU, different things like that. Like, what is your avenue as far as like advocacy for HBCUs?
HBCUs is something that's very, very like dear to me, because when I first went to Alabama State, it's kind of what kind of molded me and groomed me into like what I am now. It's like it will say this, coming from a small town, I guess and just going to Montgomery. All right, it sounds crazy. Hopping from Valley, Alabama to Montgomery, Alabama, you wouldn't think that it would be such a big jump. However, coming from a small town and being a high school kid and then hopping to Montgomery and you around everybody from all over the world, but it's us. You know what I'm saying? You're saying, so it's us, and it's crazy. It's just like, I saw what it did for me, not only inside of the classroom, but on the outside of the classroom.
Yeah.
I saw the care that the teachers and the instructors really, really took with the students. Like they really kept. You're not in a 100-room classroom. I mean, a 100 student classroom, and it's just like, all right, this is it. They talking to everybody, bam, you in there, you out of there.
Yeah.
The classes are smaller, it's a more intimate setting, and they really care. They gonna really check on you for the most part. For the most part, they gonna make sure. It's like, if you stay there and you stick with it, you're gonna finish. They're gonna make sure that you finish.
Yeah.
So, yeah, HBCUs, man, they definitely have all of them, I went to Alabama State, so this one always be near and dear to me, but all of them has a special place with me because of it's us, man. It's like we didn't have no other schools at first.
Yeah.
We had to come up with something for us, and it's us. So right now, what I'm doing, I'm hosting a segment called Historically Black Sense. I started a while ago. I stopped, and now I have started back. And what it does, it bridges the gap with a lot of people who you may not even know attended at HBCU. people who it's so many people that are HBCU grads and or Divine Nine organization members that you don't even know, and it's like you really, it's a lot of connections that can be made, and I feel like that's what I want to do. I want to bridge that gap. You're a radio host, all right?
Yeah.
Hey, let's say you were a part of, let's say you were a HBCU alum.
Yeah.
A lot of people may not know that, but it may be this other young girl who wants to get into radio. So now it's like, oh dang, you interviewed Moett? I didn't know she was I didn't know she graduated from an HBCU. I'm like, yeah, that's my homie. Let me reach out to her.
Yeah.
And now that's a connection right there, all because of the HBCU connection. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's my whole thing for it now, is really just connecting dots with people who you never would think that would have went to a HBCU. I interviewed David Banner not too long ago. A lot of people don't know David Banner graduated from Southern University. He was the SGA president of Southern University.
Oh yeah, I forgot. And I was on a press run with him that time whenever he was dropping what's that movie? Dang, what is that movie? Dang, I cannot remember the name of it to save my life.
We gonna think about it in a minute. But yeah, like David Banner. It's a guy right now. I just interviewed a guy named Dr. Q. Dr. Q, he's a dentist.
That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's a dentist out in Memphis. And it's crazy because he is the one who works on, what's her name, Glorilla. He works on her mouth.
Wow.
So so she just shouted him out on the Breakfast Club like a couple of weeks ago. He's a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
So it's just that connection. You might have another person who wants to be a dentist. You might have somebody, you don't know. Hey, I might want to ask Glorilla to get on the track. So I'm going to hit him up because I know she coming in to get some work done on her mouth.
Right.
But it's all about the connections. And I feel like that's where my place is at right now, to get the story out of people who are HBCU alums, current student and or D9 organization members. So
that's amazing. So out of all of the work that you've done, all of the sets that you've been on.
Oh, and DJ Scream, I gotta put that out there. So I interviewed DJ Scream. Shout out to DJ Scream.
Hey, shout out to DJ Scream. So out of all of the work that you've done, like all of the music videos you've been in, all of the sets you've been on, all of that stuff, what would you say, what is one of the most interesting moments that you've had on set?
Out of movies or anything, no matter what.
Yeah, just whatever.
I think being on. I think when I did Jagged Edge's music video, I'm such a music junkie, and I am a Jagged Edge fan. Like back in the day, seeing Jagged Edge, like they were that real R&B group.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing them on 106 in Park. I'm seeing them, here and there. I'm hearing them on the radio, and I love R&B. So when I got a chance to actually, be the lead in that music video and to see how dope and down to earth those guys really were, that was dope. I think that was dope. That was very dope.
That's amazing. That's awesome. I know you've worked with a lot of people. Has there ever been a moment where you've been, like I know you said that Jagged Edge, you really looked up to them, so being able to work with them, that was amazing. Have you ever had a moment where you've been like starstruck, or have you kind of like fizzled out of that phase where you just like, hey, they just like me?
I don't think I've ever just been starstruck, and I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever just been starstruck. I will say one dope moment. I'll say one moment that was very dope. It wasn't a starstruck moment, but it's two dope moments. All right, so I'm gonna circle back around to the game on BET.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that like years and years and years ago. So I posted it. I took a picture with Pooch Hall back then, and I posted it on like a Throwback Thursday one time.
Yeah.
He came up under and commented, and he was like, "Yeah, I remember when, bro." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
I'm like, dang, that's crazy. Feeling like, I remember when we took that picture, like way back then, and to see like where I'm at now, from back then, and for him to still remember that was dope. And I did a movie called Open. It's crazy, they cut the scene out, but it came on BET, and I was actually on the call sheet as a character with Essence Atkins and Jasmine Guy.
Oh wow.
And you know, to be a cast member with them, that was amazing and that was dope. To be in the same room as Jasmine Guy and you are a cast member, just like she is. Seeing Essence Atkins being on everything from, you know, even Smart Guy back in the day. It's just like, dang, like this crazy. I'm on the call sheet with these ladies.
Yeah.
So those were like, I won't say starstruck moments because my scene was actually with Essence Atkins. So I won't say starstruck moments, but it was like, it was funny because the scene, it was like, it was kind of supposedly kind of, I guess, raunchy, but it wasn't too raunchy, but it was. Anyway, I'm laying there. I'm on like this cot looking thing, and I'm laying there, and she's behind me, and we just laying there together. And she's like, you okay? You good? But she was so down to earth. But the way that she was saying it, she was like, yeah, you okay? You all right? So I'm like, yeah. Meanwhile, I'm sweating bullets because it's already hot as hell in there. I'm like, you ain't making this no better, Miss Atkins. But yeah, that was a dope moment to work with them.
That's dope. So I know, like, from you starting out and to be able to see your growth, how important would you say that it is to remain consistent no matter what?
If you aren't consistent, then you just, you're going to fall off. You're going to fall off. To remain consistent is something that you have to do in the industry. Like, you just can't stop. If you stop, you're going nowhere.
Yeah.
You're not going any further. So being consistent, it keeps your content going. It keeps your face out there to the masses. It keeps you on the radar.
Right.
So you have to be consistent.
Right. I agree. So whenever it comes to like being on set, different things like that, how important would you say it is to be able to network with other individuals?
It's super important, man. Networking is everything, and we've always heard that, but it's everything. Like for real. You know, it's just it's really a who you know world. And you know what? An older guy told me one time, and it made all the sense in the world. You know, we were talking. I'm like, yeah, man, I know networking is everything. You know, it's about who you know. He said, no, it's about who knows you. So I said, you know what? I thought about it for a second.
That's right.
I said, you got a point. And that goes back to being consistent. It's just like right now, you know, if I walked on the set, right, a lot of times now I walk on different sets or walk, whether it's a music video or a photo shoot, whatever I'm doing, and it's always people that I already know or that I worked with or they saw me on something.
Yeah.
And that comes from being consistent because they probably wouldn't have saw me had I not been consistent.
Right.
So, you know, it's like when they see you and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that was me. Well, yada, yada, what's up? What's your name? How you doing? And we chop it up. At that point, we have network. So if anything comes up, they think about me. They're like, all right, I got just the guy for that. If it's something that'll fit me. So networking is everything. Get in those rooms, talk. That's what got me out of being shy. When I realized I had to network when I went to college.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't, you know, I could come in this room and nobody would know I'm here. But I realized I can't just sit there and talk. I can't sit beside anybody now and not really say anything to them because you never know who you sit beside.
That's a fact.
You never know how you can benefit them. And I look at that now. I look at the world differently now. Yeah. It's like I never know how I can benefit this person. And if I can benefit this person, evidently we in the same industry some type of way, but the benefit gonna come right back to me because there's gonna be a connection.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. That's amazing. So I know like you are super real with your health stuff and your fitness stuff. I know one time you told me that I need to be drinking a gallon of water a day, and so I've still been I'm up to a half a gallon, by the way. So
you up to a half a gallon after 3 years? It's progress.
Do not judge me because I'm getting there. I'm working on it.
Hey.
I'm almost at like 0.75, but I'm working on it, you know. But so what would be, how important would you say it is to be like fit as far as like the roles and the ability that you've been able to get the roles that you've had?
It's very important. And I will say this to keep it truthful. Man, I got to get back on it. This year threw me off course. I'm still drinking my water. I'm still going to the gym, but I haven't been to the gym as much as I would like to. Like, it's just been so all over the place.
Yeah.
But I still get it in, don't get me wrong. But it's very important because with my stature, the way that I'm built, is I'm gonna get like athletic roles or audition for athletic roles, or I'm a bodyguard, or I'm a love interest or something like that. And it's like, if you're a love interest, your shirt probably gonna be off, and you're not finna get that role if you got flab everywhere. You know, it's just you just not most of the time. I mean, you know, we got different life situations where they might cast somebody, they want somebody who looks a little bit, you know, I guess who weighs a little bit more than me. But a lot of times they like fit people for certain roles. You can be an athlete and not be fit, because you have all types of positions, but there's not too many basketball players that you're gonna see that's just like out of shape, because you can't run up and down that court. It's not realistic. So it's very important to stay in shape. A lot of the photo shoots I do, when I do a photo shoot, they want to see abs, they want to see muscles, they want to see some type of physique. So yeah, it's very important.
All right, nice. Now I know you did one time. You did working with this alcohol company. Okay. How was that?
It was very dope. Momet vodka. You know, that was right down my alley right there. That was right down my alley. Shout out to Jermaine, man. Jermaine over at Momet. He's over it. He's the man. And when I did it, once again, that's a connection, right?
Right.
When I reached out to him, I was like, hey, man, you know, yada. I told him, I ain't say, hey, man, I was way more professional than that. But, you know, I was like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying, your alcohol brand, yada, yada. I had already saw him at a few different places, at events that I was at. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, this is what I do, I model, I act, I'm an influencer. You know, can I work with your brand? I'm like, hey, look, I ain't asking for no money. I just, you know, want to work with you. Yeah. That led to him giving me some money, though. I still got money out of the deal, you know, so. That's nice. That's kind of how that came about. And, yeah, I love it. And by the way, have you ever had it?
No, I haven't.
The vodka is so smooth. It's so smooth. It has a lemony aftertaste to it. It's amazing. I might go get some after this interview.
I'm so weak. All right. So outside of that, now, do you have like any upcoming projects that you're working on, or any major things that you want to talk about?
I've already mentioned the show that I'm hosting. I'm waiting on a lot to come out right now. I'm waiting on a lot to be released. What do I have that I'm waiting on? I've done a few commercials and a few music videos. I'll just say that those are like the main things that I'm waiting to come out. Yeah. And I hate names dropping it before it comes out. So.
Right, because you gotta wait on it to come out and all of that stuff, so people ain't like, oh, let me look for it.
absolutely.
So I get it. So one last question: if you could go back and you could talk to your younger self, well, it's kind of like a two-parter. For one, what would you tell somebody that is interested in getting in the lane that you are in? And then two, if you could go back and speak to your younger self, like before this whole modeling, before everything, what would you say?
Someone who's trying to get into it, once again, consistency is key. Like, do your research. Make sure it's something that you want to do. Make sure you know the ins and outs too, because we are in a scammy world right now, especially when you're talking about modeling. Like, man, right? Guys and women. Contracts. Yeah. Guys and women, and then everybody who picks up a camera is not a photographer. Right. You know, let's just be real. Everybody who has a camera, a video camera, is not a director or a videographer. So just do your research on people. Do your research on what you're trying to do. As far as the acting thing, like I said, start doing background work. Do whatever. You might think you can act. Everybody think they can act until they go up against some actors. That's something I realized when I started taking acting classes. I'm like, oh boy, I thought I knew this, but I ain't knew nothing. Wow. So do research, do background work. Because for one, you may say, yeah, I'm ready for the spotlight. I'm ready for Hollywood. Yeah, that's cool and all, but are you ready for them long hours? Once again, you know what I'm saying? So can you handle just being there that long? Can you handle saying the same thing over a million times? Can you say one word 10 different ways? You know, it's just one of those things. You got to be real with yourself. Are you able to be directed? Can you take direction? If you don't like authority and can't take directions, how are you going to work under a director? You know, so it's just certain things. Do your research and make sure it's something that you want to do. Be consistent. Don't try to take no shortcuts either. So That's one thing. And use every tool that you have to your advantage, like social media, man. Use all of them.
Yeah.
Get out there, become an influencer. It'll all help you. It will
Yeah.
all help you.